Hey everyone, it's Libby from Maighstir Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, that's W-O-R-I-M-I, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energies. Absolute pleasure to have you along. A little bit late coming on today, I do apologise. It was a morning of procrastination. Oh, went grocery shopping, went to the post office, blah, da, 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 da. Okay, little bit of housekeeping first of all. In 2 days' time, so my Thursday, a lot of your Wednesdays, I'm on with Hogarth, Hogarth, Global Astrology. So it's alive. Ooh, so hope to see you there. And very quickly, I just want to mention that Danny Shea has a secondary channel out now called Danny Shea Shamanic Journeys. For those that are just so totally over the politics of the day, a great little channel to check out. Pressure on for Danny now to keep producing for it. Okay, one thing that I actually looked up yesterday and just wanted to mention, apparently Madagascar, because I keep picking up Madagascar when it comes to Epps and Maxwell. Apparently Madagascar doesn't have an extradition treaty with the United States, so that might explain a few things too. Right, where do I actually start? What I want to start today with, first of all, entertainment only. And I want to, oh gosh, and doesn't the house smell like sage smoke now? So I've had to really give the house a good airing out. But what I want to have a look at today is in this first reading is I want to have a look, just to follow up on the Doomsday Radio, also known as buzzer, also known as hummer. What it is, it's a old style from the 1970s. It was apparently initially set up in the 1970s during the Cold War. It's an old style, like a ham radio station, from what I understand. And it's been transmitted from a abandoned communications hub near Moscow. Now, what's happening is energy or transmissions have increased, and they're usually very short transmissions, and they literally have, it's been identified for those that specialise in code breaking type thing, and which is not me. Oh, well, when I say specialise, it's like those that do the crosswords, specialise in crosswords and etc. And Sudoku and stuff like that. Those that are interested in code breaking have been doing some work on it, and from what I can gather, if I come over here and have a look, it's pretty much an active covert communication tool for global puppet leaders. So they've managed to work out the formats that are being transmitted, and I believe there's about 4 different formats depending on the urgency of the message. And so what will happen is that there will be a code name comes first, then a series of digits, and then another code word, and then some more digits, depending on the urgency. So what will happen is it'll have a code name for the recipient's call sign, and it may or may not have a 5-digit group, and then it may or may not have then they all have a code word, and then they have 4-digit group or groups, and then often another code word and another 4-digit group. So they've worked out that there is this consistency in the transmissions. That first group of 5 digits depends on whether what level. So they've worked out that there's 4 different levels of messages depending on the urgency that start with a particular code word. And then it depends anyhow, it's complicated. It's complicated, but there is a consistency in the messages being sent. So I want to have a look, and I'm using my Runic Tarot, one of my favourite decks, but it is a dark deck, so I've got my dark cloth down, so hopefully it'll be right. Entertainment only, and as I split the deck, we've got the Emperor card, and we've got the setting fire to everything and bringing forward a new plan, new beginning card. So as I said, it's the covert puppet masters, it appears to be. And if you go back and have a look at what happened X number of days after messages were sent, there were some pretty dramatic world events that occurred. So where do I go with this? Now, I will not pretend to understand coding. If you do, or you know someone who is really interested in this sort of thing, then go for it. I'll put a link to the two websites in my posts section. Now you go to the post section. If you click on maighstirtarot under any video, it'll take you to the main page and the posts is in there. And as my guides will tell me when I have a look at a deck when I'm splitting it, you've got the 10 of Cups there. It's about toasting the Emperor. The Emperor's sitting up the end there. However, it's also an end of a cycle. And then you've got the Ace of Pentacles. The new cycle is it about a new cycle of money? Is it about a new cycle of protection with this new plan? So where do I go? Well, I've literally written down doomsday, buzzer, hammer, messaging, 1970s, it's when it started. It actually significantly picked up activity in February of this year. There were a few interesting ones that happened in December. Gee, I wonder what was happening around then, November, December. But literally I've just written down why and to whom. So let's totter down. I hope you've packed yourself a lunch, says me, who had lunch and then ate a whole bag of lollies. That was a bit, what colour's my tongue? No, it's not, it wasn't blue lollies. Okay, let's have a look. Why are these messages being sent? Show me what we need to know about these messages being sent. Why? And then I want to ask to whom. Actually, they're telling me to do to whom first. So, right, let's have a look. To whom are these messages being sent? Come on down, let's have a look. Okay. Right, the Eight of Cups, the little agile, fast-moving squirrel with his singular cup racing away from the crusty old dragon chewing on the branch down the front here. Okay, that's the signifier. Now, okay, I would probably say that this is about agility. This is about moving on from what was. I really get the feeling, and I think I talked about it yesterday when I was reading on the shift from Robert Maxwell down to Ghislaine Maxwell, was we are in this period of shift. Everything is shifting. But something that's quite important about what is shifting is those that were involved at the peak of their power in the 1980s in Epstein, etc., they're all starting to die off. I mean, you can cheat however much you like, including at golf, looking at you orange twerp with your caddy dropping the ball next to the bunker, just instead of in the bunker, all over social media at the moment. But you can cheat all you like throughout your life, but nobody, and I don't care how rich you are, can cheat death. And they're all starting to reach the point where they're falling off the twig, ending up on the wrong side of the grass, however you like to put it. So this is very much about the new, the agile new, moving on from the crusty old, the 1970s, the 1980s. And this radio, ham radio system or X-communications system, it was a military communication system, but it's not any longer. Moving on from this old system, okay, of how it was done. The challenge is, if you want, the death of those of the older era, potentially, or simply the ending of an old cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. Things are being done differently nowadays. You've got different monetary systems, you've got different military systems, you've got different communication systems. Out with the old and in with the new. So whom is it being sent to? Is it this next generation of whomever? Let's see how we go. Page of Wands. This is my Slava Ukraine Viva la Resistance card. Bringing forward new youthful ideas. It is standing up in defiance of the old. So this was really interesting. Okay. I don't think it's the archaic puppet masters that they are intended towards. I think this is the messages, I'm asking who are these messages being sent to? Whom are they intended for now? And it is this new generation energy. Remember, we had that Ace of Wands come out before. It's this new generation energy, this pushback energy, the little nimble squirrel there. Okay. Let's see where we go. In the past, the King of Pentacles, the oligarchical money. They seem to be suffering from window and yacht and etc. lately, these and cup of tea, these oligarchs. And that's something I want to have a look at too. I might even do it on the end of this reading, is who was on that plane that went down in Eastern Russia. But this sitting on the throne, lording over with their money, is in the past. Okay, so to whom are these messages being sent? And here's the birth of the new. It's the Seven of Cups. It can be about illusion, delusion, and choices and all the rest of it. But you've got the babe in arms here and the gifts being brought forward for this babe. And their gifts of strength and their gifts of intellect and their gifts of wealth, etc. and so forth. So emotional stability, spirituality, all these gifts for this new babe. This feels like it's new. Right, this wasn't who I was thinking it was for. Let's see where we go with this. Immediate future, the Five of Pentacles. Cast out into the cold, the disenfranchised, the moral, financial, ethical corruption, the abandonment. The abandonment of what was, the abandonment of the adoration of money. Let's see where we go. Externally, the independent female who has all that she needs, but she also has obligations. This is really interesting energy. She's also got the Owl of Wisdom on her shoulder, and the symbol at her feet is about untamed potential. The symbol at the top there is about reactionary force, defense, conflict, but also a gateway to the future. A gateway to the future and untapped potential externally. It could be the rise of the feminine. So who are these messages to? The planning internally. Planning that is underway in regards to something, right? Hopes and fears, justice, actions having consequences, bringing justice. This is taking a bit of a different path than what I thought it would be. The outcome, temperance, balance, moderation, juggling to bring stability. The alchemy card, where you're pouring from cup to cup to create something new. The feminine allure, the temperance here, clarified by the Nine of Wands, guardrails, backstop, putting up barriers, and then the Fool. Okay, this is taking me on a different path than what I was thinking. Because when I was reading, was it yesterday or the day before, on this radio, and then we have the Page of Swords. Again, this youthful energy bringing forward this new truth. And then we've got the death of the leader with that Four of Swords, the death of the leader. And then we got the Queen of Swords stepping up, the feminine energy. A lot of feminine energy here. Dark money behind the scenes with the Three of Pentacles. This is the underlying tones, the dark money. You've got the Seven of Swords, the stealing, and then you've got the Page of Pentacles. So again, another page, again, this youthful energy. You've got the Magician, the manipulators, finding themselves betrayed. You've got the Five of Cups due to their corruption and disregard for human life. Now, there was somebody who came out today, I can't even remember what it was. It was on one of Hawke's podcasts. I only saw the first sort of 30 seconds. It was someone who was involved in this relentless attacking of Hunter Biden. And they've now come out and said, oh, well, you know, regret that we didn't actually consider that he was human. Yeah, the corrupt disregard of human life. And you've got at the point of the sword. So whatever this is, this dark money and this stealing under this youthful energy is that these manipulators. Okay, I'm going somewhere really weird, and I'll explain it in a minute, and I'll pull some cards on it. You've got this Three of Wands sending the messaging overseas, the nightmare situations, a decision to be made in regards to entering the forest. The Knight of Swords, a harsh truth coming forward about the devil energy, an investigation into the devil in regards to something that happened in the past. And then we've got the Star of hope and healing, the protecting of the vulnerable. Oh, okay. This is going to sound really weird, but while I was putting those cards out, what I got is that this ham radio, is like it's okay. What I'm getting is it's not actually there for the puppet masters, the nefarious ones that are controlling things from behind the curtain. This radio is warning about actions that are going to be taken by the puppet masters. Did I get that right? And there's the Page of Cups. Unexpected messaging coming forward about summoning and bringing down the wrath of the heavens. I think that what's happening, because interestingly enough, I'm getting that it's actually putting out warnings. It's like a resistance, a defiance. Am I right there? Show me the why. Show me the why. Because I kept saying, you know, I think there were 12 messages sent out after immediately after a telephone conversation between the orange twerp and the Kremlin figure. Immediately, and it's distributing to those that need to know what was contained in that conversation. So as I said, you know, there was a message 4 days before the bombing of Iran. It was going out to whomever needed to know about that. Am I right? The moon, secrets being revealed. Yes, yes. You've got protection. You've got the world. And you've got the support network on the bottom, and I was looking at what's on the top, and this is this birth of this new. The birth of the new and the defiance. The defiance of the messaging that's going out there. I am And if I keep going, there's the ace as well. New beginning, new partnership. What I'm getting is it's not going out to the puppet masters, it's going out to those that are working to overthrow those behind the curtain. Holding on to what is really important and just burning the rest down, bringing an end to the current. Okay, so show me. If I say, to whom are these messages going, which might then lead to someone working them out. Okay, to whom are these messages going? To whom are these messages being from Russia, right? Well, we got that coming out from an excommunication hub near Moscow. From Russia, turning the wheel of fortune, spinning the new threads, protecting the birth of this new child. To whom are these? I'm actually feeling a lot. I didn't actually feel sort of any darkness about these messagings, but I was worried. But now I'm feeling actually quite positive. To whom are these coded messages going? Queen of Wands. I don't know her birth date, but it is my Yulia Navalny energy. Alexei Navalny was my King of Wands and Yulia is my Queen of Wands. It's also about the feminine energy behind the scenes, bringing forward new messaging, new ways of doing. So who's it going to? Well, you've got here the King of Cups. At the foundation, the energy at the foundation. It was my Biden card. It could be my Mers card. It could be my Alex Whiting card. I believe he's a water sign as well. Who else could it be? I'm not getting down to the next level. I'm thinking this sort of energy. It's also the we, the people energy as well. But this is, if you can hear that, that's Bindi scratching her back on the rug. The King of Cups, Queen of Wands and the King of Cups. I mean, it could be. In the past, the secrets, revealing the secrets. I hope I'm not blowing their cover with this. Revealing the secrets. Crowning this reading, the end of what was and the beginning of the new. The ending of closing of one door and opening of another. Also reminds me of the Nazis at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, looking into the Ark, their greed, their lust for power, and them ending up being nothing but dust. This is actually really good energy. Here's that Four of Pentacles again. They're hanging on to what is really important as they watch what remains go up in flames. The what was. It also reminds me of just looking at this background here, the Ten of Pentacles. I'll see if I can find the Ten of Pentacles. Just bear with me for a second. It's a very fat deck, so it might take me a bit to get through. I'll have to remember to put those back in order on the bottom there. This card, the Ten of Pentacles, the end of a cycle. Ooh, and there's the Fool as the next card, the beginning of the new. But this in the background reminds me of this longship, this Viking longship going up in flames, end of a cycle. It's the raping and pillaging card. Okay, let me just put those back in order again. So it's almost like watching the Ten of Pentacles longship go up in flames after rescuing what needs to be taken into the next stage in the immediate future. we've got here the defiance of the messaging. So we've got the Five of Wands, we've got the Five of Pentacles, the out in the cold, the abandoned, the loss, the feeling of betrayal, the left to one's own devices. But two fives here, externally and internally. This could also be the loss of wealth. The Russian people are doing it. You think you're doing it tough in the US, they are doing it extremely tough due to the choices of their leaders and their oligarchs. And now the oligarchs are falling out of windows as the Kremlin leaders try to get their hands on their money. But these are about change. And we've got 4 and then 2 fives. And fives are about change and obstacles and challenges that will be overcome. This is really interesting. We've got the hopes and fears, the steal. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about an election steal here. This can just be the sneaking into camp and stealing what is valuable. This symbol on this guy's chest here as he's hiding behind the whatever tree or whatever he's hiding is about defense on the side, removing the defenses, losing the defenses. I'm drawn to the symbol on the guy in the villager's chest here, and that's very much about change and teamwork and loyalty and trust. Trying to steal, trying to steal the loyalty and trust and all that is good about in the villages and the communities. Right, the outcome, the magician, the manifestation, the temperance card again, and the tower. Look at these major arcana across this through line here. If we go to the past, the high priestess, and the past being revealed, the present is the world is going through dramatic change. It's the ending of a cycle. It's the ending of the greed and the lust and the power and all the rest of it. And we're going into this manifestation energy of balance and femininity, and we've got this tower moment. And then we've got the King of Swords bringing forth the strength of the truth. Wow. And then the Chariot moving forward, working out how the hell we're going to do it as we're going along. But it can also be my military card as the devil is investigated. Now, I don't think this is just the devil in the United States. I think this is global devil. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. Now, we had that at the beginning, and I'm like, well, is it about new money or is it about new military power? It's new opportunity. We have a chance to learn the lesson. And if we learn it, we are presented with a new opportunity, a new beginning to bring forward what is, I was going to say simpler times, but there weren't ever simpler times. People might look back at nostalgia with the 1950s thinking Happy Days was what it was all at. No, it wasn't. If you were a white male, yes, but anybody else, no. This is about moving back to what is, I just get really important. And then we've got the star, the best of democracy, the star of hope and healing and all that is good. Wow. Okay. So to whom? Okay. This is really interesting. I am feeling that it is somebody sharing. Hope I'm not going to get anyone in trouble. I'm pretty sure. Oh gosh, look at these cards that fell out while I went to pick the deck up. I'm pretty sure. These. Oh, there's Bindi coming in. the Kremlin, the White House, you name it, they use psychics, they use soothsayers, trust me, they know the astrology, etc. I don't know whether the orange twerp actually follows it or believes it, but trust me, they do use these gifts, not necessarily for good. But we've got the wheel of fortune turning, karma coming and biting him on the bum, wheel of fortune. The Ten of Swords, the end of this barren landscape. We've got the sun, full exposure, fully illuminated and moving very quickly about, I'm going to say, those echelons, those incestuous echelons, that circle where they toast each other and think they're all wonderful and don't understand that humans are humans. And I think there is a money trail. There's work happening with the money trail. Dark money especially, with that Three of Pentacles. You have the Eight of Wands, the information coming out really quickly. We've then got the Ace of Wands, the Justice card, and the Hierophant card. So I'm just going to leave that there because what I'm getting is that radio is not a means of communicating with the puppet masters. I get the feeling it's a means of communicating with those that are countering the puppet masters. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. That was an interesting dive and I'm really glad I went there. Love to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.